about more illegal immigrants than they do the only American people.
Yes, yes, yes.
And there's people that have come over here that are immigrants that are fine because they've gone through the process
Yes.
and they've worked
If
hard.
they
and they've
came
got-
legally here,
Yes.
yeah, we're all immigrants, sort
Yes.
of. I'm sure that your
My
folks
grandparents
came, yeah.
Yeah, my Adams, they came from Germany.
See?
Yeah.
Correct, yeah. And all of them came unless they were Indians, you know.
Right.
They would have been natives. you
All
know.
the good people that want to come to America do it legally, and they go through the proper channels. And those are the people that we really need here, and they're
We-
good people.
We
yeah,
want
and
to.
we-
They're. But listen, let me tell you. I don't know if you. But I think if you read my story, it's in my book. I mean, I was working the first week. I was doing my internship. Was already employed. My dad. I wrote it down. That's in the book too. For example, I was standing real close because I knew English, but I knew the Oxford English, the English, you know. And when we were here on the boat, I'm a boat people, you know, came with the boat, and and we were on, and the sailors were talking to each other, and I said to Mila, Mila, is that English or is that Chinese? What kind of a language is that? Well, I think that's the American. She said she knew, she had more English than I did, and I had all the languages but English in school, you know. And so I went at Ellis Island and stood close to some guards. And then they looked at my dad, and one said to the other, look at this one with just with one arm. Who do you think is going to take care of that guy? Looked at my dad, you know, and he was 51. And he said, you and me, of course, you know. I understood that already by that time, you know. And guess what? The second week, my dad said, listen, I can't stand it just sitting here. I want to work. Where should I go? So I said, let me see. So I went downstairs to the maintenance department. I've seen they've been painting and working, doing all sorts of things all year around. And I said, who's your boss there? One who was painting just there. And I said, over there. Went over there. I said, listen, I've got a dad. He's 51 years old, and he is missing his left arm. But he, with that one arm, he can do more than I would be able to do with 4 arms. That's how diligent and capable he is. Bring him in, let me take a look. Next day I brought him in, you know. Here he is, you know. Introduced him, I said, gave him a brush and paint. Paint here. Started painting. Hired, he said. You know?
Awesome.
And guess what? My dad was 51. Guess how long when he got his first retirement check? At 85, I had to go to him and said,
Get your
Daddy,
retirement check.
I said, Daddy, Erich needs a job. So you need to retire. Are you sure? Is there another job? You need to retire. So then he finally said, well, Erich needs a job. So he got over $40,000 in pay because he didn't go in retirement at 65, you know.
Oh,
so
wow.
when at 80, it was 85, you know. He lived until he was
Wow.
90, you know. So, and I said, I should be able to see where these 2 guys are and go and tell them that my dad retired, you know, at 85.
Yeah,
85.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. That's a good story.
And Mila was working also the 3rd week, and my mom also the 3rd or 4th week. Mila was working in a factory until she was 8 months pregnant, and my mother, she went to work in a household for some Jewish people, you know. And then afterward, she worked for Months TV, for TV. So, and then of course we went here a year, and we already had our first 3-flat apartment, you know.
Really?
And by the time we were done with, we had over 6,000, you know, apartment units.
Did you really?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Was that the total in the
Here you
book? I
go.
didn't see the total. It was over 6,000
6,000,
units.
yeah. And then the kids lost it then, because of a screwball,
Here's what they're saying.
Pardon me?